Welcome everyone. Today we have another new episode with our honorable guest, Mr. Ben Benerjee, and he is the president of Swiss Impact Investment Associations, and he is running a very interesting summit, 26th and 27th October. Already you know that World Talent Economy Forum, we are sharing his sessions and his summit with our audience, with our guests and peoples and the many people in Asia Pacific. So he gonna share that what his plan to do to organize this summit today. So hello, Mr. Ben Banerjee. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us today. So, do you want to share your website with our audience? And yes,
How should I do it? Just a
just
moment.
share screen.
Okay, just a moment.
Okay.
I'm not very handy with technology, but I'll try to see. Yeah, share screen.
Yes.
Yeah, can you see?
No, still no.
Can you see anything yet? You still can't see. Otherwise, you can share it if you want to.
Okay. You can share your website
Yeah.
in our private chat sec. I can share.
Yeah, one moment, I have to cancel. Because somehow it doesn't let me share from here.
Okay. Just a moment. I'm trying to do so. This is SIIA. Okay.
Did you get it?
Yes, just a moment. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can we start about this? No problem. I can scroll if you want.
Okay, so it's very
Yeah.
simple. This is our 5th summit. We have it every year, and mainly it is for two main sectors. One is the investors who are interested in impact investment, and the other side is the businesses who are doing something in impact investment. And impact investment is basically the sector where you have business, which is good for the environment or good for the society, or both. Or maybe it is answering one of the 17 SDGs of the United Nations. We are quite successful in this. It is done together with the government of Switzerland. And if you can look into our program or something, you will see very well-known financial institutions are all coming. So you can see the Rockefeller brothers, I can't see the screen very well. Let me see. Oh, for example, from Hong Kong, he's the owner of one of the biggest insurance company. Idar is, for example, from the Norwegian asset managers. The Prince of Liechtenstein is coming. The former Prime Minister of Netherlands, who is very, very strong in sustainable investments and in public-private working, he's coming. And all of these people who you see on the list, they're all major investors or specialists in the field of impact investment. And last of all, you also have the religious, the head of the religious organizations coming, who also do purely focused on impact investment. So totally, I think we are covering few 100 billion euros. If you look at the total capacity of the financier, it's quite big. The project is split into 2 or 3 parts. The summit. One is the pitch, where we have selected few companies and organizations who will be making their pitch in front of these investors. You can show the program. I think if you click on the program, you can see on the menu, on the top menu, right.
Okay. Program, yes.
Yeah. So if you, it is split into a couple of parts. The pitch part is the starting. So if you go down a bit, and then we have so policymakers and big businesses who are coming, who will be showing what they are doing in this field. So if you look at the, if you go down like the Prince of Liechtenstein, he's head of one of the biggest financial institutions there. Next to that, there is a specialist, Bob. He's a specialist in impact investment from UK, representative of United Nations. Leo is from London. He has also his own TV studio, and he's supporting the University of Oxford, together working in the future of economics. Then comes the 2 major financial institutions. So that is a Norwegian sovereign fund and a European investment bank. They are 2 of the biggest financial institutions of Europe who are coming together and who have also put aside a massive amount of funds for impact investment. And just go ahead, it comes. And then the next day, again, the same thing. It starts with the pictures of some company. And then there will be, again, on impact investment, and also from Finland. And Stephen is one of the oldest and one of the biggest impact investors in the world. He's known since 25 years. They are from the CNA company, the owner, the family which owns the CNA company. Then after that, it's again, Partners Group is one of the biggest financial institutions from Switzerland. I think they manage around 120 or 130 billion euros. They do a lot of impact investment, and I think they also do a lot in Malaysia, a lot in India and Southern Asia. So they will be talking about their funds, in what kind of projects they invest in, and what kind of businesses and corporations. Then we have the former Prime Minister of Netherlands, who leads the organization which has the 8 biggest Dutch companies. They are all multinationals, very strong into sustainable investment. And so it goes through. And we also have, Stephen is from the Rockefeller Brothers. They are also one of the biggest institutional impact investment firms. They invest also a couple, I think, 1.2 billion or something into impact investment. Also very strongly in Asia and Far East. Martin is, of course, from the religious sectors, who heads the Faith Invest. And then we have Sanchi. He's the Avishkar, which is a very well-known fund in India, which has been doing impact investment since quite very many years. And now they have also spread to Indonesia. They're also investing in Indonesia, South Asia, and also in, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're also investing now heavily into Africa, East and West Africa. I think mainly focused in East Africa. So yeah, this is in short how the program looks like for the 2 days.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to share anything from your websites about the benefit or anything, or?
I mean, most of the information, everything you will find already on the website. So most of the people who come to join our, This is the first time, by the way, we are doing it online, because it's always physical. The event always takes place here in Soup. That's why we have a lot of political leaders and business leaders who come. In the past, if you go into the SIIA website, you will see a lot of world famous people have been there in the past also. It's mainly all of them are, 80% of them are from the financial sector. So we have four kind of financial sectors that come to our thing. One are the ultra high network individuals. So a lot of high network individuals like the Rockefellers, the Brenningmeyers, and the old families, they all come. Second is a group of financial institutions like the asset managers and wealth office, family offices from Switzerland and Nordics and West Europe. And thirdly, the third group are the institutional investors. So you have the European Investment Bank, the Norwegian Sovereign Fund, pension funds from Netherlands, from Germany, from Denmark, Sweden. And the last group are the faith investors, the religious investors. So they are from 12 major religious heads. And they also come to look for projects where they can invest in and also share their own experiences, their pluses and minuses, and the criteria, which is really very important because each of these investors have their own criteria. So yeah, so that's very short. You can see a lot about us on the media and everything. So we are quite very strongly present in the media. Only this is the first time we are doing online. So the advantage is that because it's online, so more and more people from around the world can participate. Not everybody has to take a flight and come here to Switzerland. But the offline, the advantage of how do you call it, the web, is that not the advantage. The disadvantage is that you don't have the chance to personally meet people. So for us also, it's a learning process. We will have to learn how to manage that. But yeah, so that's in short about our summit.
Okay. So I can remove your websites. So
yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm sure people can find it themselves if they want any information.
Yes, thank you, sir. Basically, what I observed from Malaysia, that impact for your organizations has very good impact with the in the business arena. But my question is that, like you are talking about the criteria, when we work with the different corporations, different organizations, especially those who are not engaged with the different kind of more modern investments things. They have the problem to understand what's the criteria, and most of the cases actually there are many traditional organizations, maybe they are capable, maybe they are want to do, let's say, different impactful business. So my question is that how your organizations can help this kind of organizations, those who has to know the modern impact investment things. And second things, how do you want to connect with this kind of organization? I know there are many corporations, they make $1 billion business, but still your impact investments and this kind of modern investments criteria, maybe they do not know properly. That is the things we actually want to move with that kind of business person. Yeah.
I think from the business point of view, you just have to Google the 17 SDGs of the United Nations. And if you think that your business does something, one or more of them, answers to these 17 SDGs, that makes the difference. So for example, if you're doing something like yesterday, one company applied, it's an amazing company. It's an American company. What they're doing is that they're producing their materials by handcraft people in India, and they're selling it in all the big shops in America. That is a huge impact because not only they're fighting poverty, but they're also supporting handicraft, because otherwise handicraft is dying out. I'm sure it's same is valid for Malaysia also. People who have for generations who have been doing something with their hand, they can't compete with the machine produce. I'm sorry if I use the word crap coming out of countries like China. They can't compete with it. So they are all going, either people don't buy their products or they're going bankrupt, or they're becoming laborer in factories and all that. But this company, because of its activities, is supporting these poor people. That's one example. Second is also in farming. So we do a lot in agriculture society because that addresses one of the SDGs, that is no hunger, increasing food production. And food and farming is becoming very, very important now, that sector. Another sector that's becoming very important is climate-related technologies, because climate change is impacting everywhere. So a lot of major financial institutions are putting aside funds and money for climate-related technologies, businesses. And in that, renewable energy is a very, very big part. So, and especially in the Corona tide and the COVID time, renewable energies have become very strong. Also, if you look at the performance in the market for investors, the renewable energies are outperforming the market in every way. So I would say these are the two which I can just name just out of my thought. That is climate related, and the food and agri sector, but also any other sector which is addressing one of the United Nations, or like gender equality. If there are companies who are financing or who are doing something which is good for the women entrepreneurs, or supporting women, these also fall in our criteria. So, or women hygiene. We support one of the companies, which I think I told you last time. What they are doing is that they are using waste cotton in Africa and turning it into sanitary napkins and selling it at a very cheap price, because the Chinese, they have flooded Africa with extremely bad quality and environmental unfriendly products, which is not only expensive, but it's also very harmful for the health of the women. And this is a completely circular economic product. It's a biodegradable product. So these are the kind of companies, businesses. So the business, there are two kinds of business. One is the finance first business, where I do business because I want to make money. Or there's an impact first business, where I do business because I want to make money, but I also want to do something good. In our case, it's the second category, which is important. So,
excellent.
Because one of the issues I had with this definition, I was talking in one of the events in Asia 1 week ago, where somebody said, my business is very impactful. I said, why do you think it's impactful? He said, because I give job to many people. That's not the criteria. So it has, the business itself has to answer one of the SDGs.
Another important thing, like as you are organizing summit, let's say vaccine is a very important thing right now. Let's say Dr. Mohammad Yunus, he come up with the idea vaccine for common good, because the developing nations, if they do not get this vaccine in a cheap price, many people will die. So is there any things in your summit you're going to discuss, or you're going to arrange any discussions or something for like that, like for investing in vaccine or something like
we
that?
do invest in vaccine, in medicine, because medtech is a very, very strong part of impact investment. So medical technology, financing medical support. But this time in our event, if I think of the program, we don't have anybody from the medtech coming. But this event, this is just an annual event. It is not everything that who we are. This is just one of the things we do. We are a platform for all impact investors. So there are a lot of things we do, which is, for example, if you look at last year's event, I'm sure you can find it on our website if you Google from. They were from the protection of the Arctics, because Arctic is melting, which is going to, if Arctic, all the ice on Arctic melts, life on Earth will be wiped out. But very few people are aware of that. Or killing off the whales and the sharks. So there are a lot of things going on, and these were represented then. They are not here this time. This time it is more on the factor of agri-tech and climate tech. But it doesn't mean that we don't do that. MedTech is a very, very important part of us.
Excellent. Sir, example, like your company, let's say previously focus on smart city projects and other thing. We do engage with Indian markets, Bangladesh and Pakistan and even Vietnam. Let's say from India, even many people, they are moving from city to village. And now Indian governments or Bangladesh government, this kind of developing nations, they are thinking more on smart village. So if this kind of change happen in the economy, as a economist, how do you want to analyze these things, or how do you want to request the investors for invest in smart village concept?
That's not very difficult because we have done that in the past in other African nations.
Mhm,
What is extremely important is this sector is the participation of the authorities. If the
mhm,
local government or the local authority is not behind it, it will not happen. So you
mhm,
need full support. So say, for example, if it's in India or
mhm,
Malaysia, you need 100% support of the local government of Malaysia. So if the Malaysian government says yes, the local and the national government says yes, we are going to create smart city or smart village. We
mhm,
have the technology, we have the people, we will do, and the investment, we will manage everything because we have experience, especially in the Nordics, we have a lot of experience with developing smart cities and smart villages. So our engineers, our scientists, they will all go and develop it, and also the investment will also, we will arrange everything. But the most
mhm.
important is the local support and local participation, because if the
Government.
local, yeah,
Mhm,
and also the people, so the people have to want it.
mhm,
If somebody comes from the west and says I want to make a smart village in Malaysia, and nobody in Malaysia wants it, it won't
mhm,
happen.
mhm.
So
Yes. Yes, yes. Beside that, like example, healthcare system also right now is the biggest challenging issues. Even you are talking about this vaccine and other things. Like, let's say one of the group of people, because many business organizations, they communicate with us, World Talent Economy Forum, as well as we have a strong integrations with our Asia Research and Development Institute and with our academy activities. So when they join with us, their major question is that what will be the policy and procedures, because when the foreign investor come, definitely they have their own policy for invest in a specific projects. So in that situations, like, can you give some sort of guidelines? Because definitely even yesterday, one of the team from Silicon Valley, they joined with us. Their name is Sansar. They are one of the virtual reality company, and they are also trying to invest, looking for investments. Even we mentioned your name and your company name, that Swiss Impact Investments is a very helpful. Even yesterday session, you can observe that this was one of the interesting sessions. So
thank
actually,
you.
in yes, in that situations, like, uh, how we can collaborate? What your criteria or policy or things we can discuss different startup and technology or this kind of organization? Yeah.
there's there's two kind of investors. One is the direct investment. So for example, an investor comes and puts fund directly into a project. That is generally difficult. It's not easy because if an investor, because generally the investors want to know where their money is going. And
Mm-hmm.
if the investor does not know where or who, it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And or institutional investors. So, for example, EIB has European Investment Bank has a lot of funds, and other bank for countries like Malaysia for doing projects in Malaysia. But then they prefer that it comes via the Malaysian government. That the Malaysian government says we have this and this project which we are supporting or we are promoting. Will you participate? That's one way. Second way is funds and fund structure. So that means there are funds available in Europe or in Malaysia or in India somewhere who invest in certain kind of projects, and we invest in that fund. So that means this the Western investors invest in this fund, but these funds generally have local presence. So they will have advocates, lawyers, engineers, doctors local in Malaysia, because then they can do their local due diligence. So these are the two ways the investments are done. So now, if a Malaysian company is looking for investment, there are two ways it can approach. One way is that it approaches directly to the Western investors. There is different criteria for that. One of the biggest issue will be the investment security, and the second is that the the project or the business applies to one of these funds or more of these funds who are investing in that criteria and that topic. And we have a huge database of all the funds because we invest funded funds. So we know which funds we have invested in and which other funds they are. And compared to that, we can always say, okay, your business gets funded by this fund or funded by that fund. And most of these funds have their own criteria, which is very easy. You can find it out very easily on their websites and things like that.
Excellent. Sir, there are some audience response. They are observing your presentations. I just want to text Noor Fazrin. Hello, sir. Greetings from Malaysia. Mohammad Shohel Rana. Thanks, sir, once again. Araf Mehraz. Hello, sir. Nice to see you again.
You're
Hosne
welcome.
Araf Firdaus. Hello, sir. Welcome to World Talent Economy Forum. And Humaira Tanzila. Hello, sir. We're glad to see you again, and thank you for your time in World Talent Economy Forum. There is a question from audience, Mohammad Shohel Rana. Hello, sir. You are focusing on planet, humanity, and finance on your upcoming summit. If you tell us about three things and the connections among these.
That's very easy. We have only
Yes.
one planet, and we are destroying it extremely fast. We do not have much choice left. And the thing is, there was a report from one of the universities, from Oxford or something, that came out last week, where it said the planet will survive, the nature will survive, humanity will not. So we are not only working for the survival of the planet, we are working for the survival of humanity, because humanity is completely dooming itself, is heading for the disaster. And the most powerful weapon we have to fight this change is finance, because finance is the most powerful tool which impacts everything, whether it is food, whether it is supply management, whether it is your house. There's nothing you can do without finance. Finance touches every aspect of your life. So that's why these are the three we are using the power of finance to influence our planet, to save humanity. Because if our planet changes or gets damaged, humanity has no chance. So that was a very easy answer.
Yes, this is very interesting, but one of the point, like always, because we are very much active in South Asia and Asia Pacific, especially local business organization, they complain many times that okay, foreign investment actually quite difficult things. It's never happens. Lot of frustration. We do this, we do that, we engage with this consulting company, we engage with this corporation. It's never happen. But how we can make it effective? What, because you are very successful in that fields, and because even World Talent Economy Forums, even in future, if you want to arrange in next year, we want to do even in online a summit with your Swiss impact investments, and in Malaysia with World Talent Economy Forums, because we have many business organization. Always they said we are suffering. It's never happened. There are a lot of frustrations. So
Yeah.
what is the things you want to share? Yeah.
I think frustration is both sides. I'll give one. If you go onto our program on the website, if you see, if you look at the organizations which are coming. So, for example, we have Goodwill, we have Rockefeller Brothers, we have EIB, we have the Nordics. It's just go on each of their websites. You will see they are investing heavily into Asia, Southeast Asia, Africa. Each of these organizations. These are not unknown names, and these are not people just saying that we are doing investments. They are doing investments, and in many of these sites, you will also find the name of the companies, name of the businesses, name of the projects which they have financed. So we have complete more. If I look at the record of ours in the last 25 years, I think I have no idea. That I can't even name the numbers. What we have invested in Asia, in Africa, it's must be in tens of billions. So we started initially with microfinance. Microfinance with Yusuf, Muhammad Yusuf. That's where we started first, because we also invested in that. And now it has grown to so many factors. We are investing in agri sector. We are investing in housing, in real estate. By real estate, I don't mean just real estate, but sustainable circular economy or environmental friendly way of real estate. Deplastification. We are investing heavily into projects which are taking plastics off the sea or off the land. So these are not just stories; these are reality.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
don't have to believe me. Just go on Google and find it. You
No,
will
no, no,
find
no, 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 no.
everything
Yes,
that we
one of
have
the
done.
major problem what I identify from the local community, it's a proper documentations
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
criteria. They have to fulfill the criteria.
Yeah.
So how your organization basically helped to fulfill this, I think this is the major problem, because maybe local people, they do not have enough expert like you, those who can guide them to prepare the documentation.
Yeah.
Because example, I also because last 12 years I also engage with different kind of consultant and other things. So local company, they are trying to go abroad, trying to do something, then somehow
Mhm.
maybe they cannot fulfill the criteria, then they definitely looking in the local market, and from the local market they arrange their finance. So in that
Mhm.
situations, the documentations, I think, is major problems, and the fulfilling the criteria. So how
Yeah.
your organization can train this kind of entrepreneur for this kind of documentation. And even in your summit, when the business organization they joins, even example today, International Islamic University, they suddenly call me, yes, this is a very interesting session, we really love to join. Even I think they have to know more about your organization. That is the things,
Yeah.
local community, they have to know. So is there any opportunity that they can learn this point in your summit?
Yes, yes. I was just going to say that when you were saying that they should come to the summit, because they will get a lot of information from these organizations, so from the financial institutions themselves, because these institutions are going to tell themselves what is their criteria, how to approach them, and how to get the funding from them. So the
Mhm,
Rockefellers will say it, the EIBs, they will say. So that's really the place they should come. That's one. Secondly, there are going to be some surprises launched at the summit, which I'm not supposed to say yet. So that will also help organizations and businesses, because the problem you are facing is a known problem.
mhm,
This has been there since the beginning. Uh,
mhm,
you on one side, I mean, I have been speaking about this also at the United Nations. On one side, you have amazing businesses, amazing ideas and projects in Asia, in Africa. The only thing they have is that they have a thirst for funding or investment, which they are not getting. On other side, we have huge amount of wealth
mhm,
available in the Western world who are looking for projects to invest, but there is a communication gap. There's a severe
mhm,
communication gap. And one of the points you mentioned about documentation is really, really important,
mhm,
because the first, how do you say, the the first impression counts.
mhm,
If you say I want 10 million or 20 million euros, and you come with a documentation which costed maybe 10 francs or 10 euros to make, it
mhm.
will not work, because
Exactly.
banks and in that case we can do, yes, we don't have unlimited resources, we have very limited resources, but we are very strongly dependent on the businesses themselves, but we can
Mhm,
advise them how to do it. But the
mhm,
businesses themselves, because nobody knows their business better than they themselves.
mhm,
They are the only one
mhm,
who can answer and write it correctly.
mhm. Mhm. Yeah, excellent. No, this is actually a major problem we are also facing last few years, that many people want investment, many people want to do some projects, but in some point they cannot handle this point. So that is the things that Swiss Impact Investment and maybe World Talent Economy Forum, we can work together, because we have some good collaborations in local community. So maybe we can bring some good companies, and you can teach them, you can guide them. And that's why I request everyone, those who observing this show, definitely you should join this summit as much as possible. From my side and from my teams, they are actually sending emails, and their WhatsApps and Facebook, we are exploring, even LinkedIn, we are exploring your event. And beside that, this recorded program we will explore in Asia Pacific, wherever we know, in Malaysia, I mean Indonesia, Vietnam, and these zones. And definitely this is the request from World Talent Economy Forum, so everybody should join in your event. And most important, in future we want to arrange summit with you in definitely in Malaysia. Maybe if it's COVID continue, maybe we can do something in January in online. So yeah. Yes.
Thank you. No, no, you're
Yes.
most welcome. But just keep in mind that Normally, our summit is a closed summit, so only 200 or 300 people from the world, they come here. They have to take the flight, come here, stay 3 days, and fly back. And this is the first time people from anywhere in the world can join us into a very closed, anyway, if you look at the names and everything, it's an extremely closed summit. So it's not very often that things like this happen. So it's a kind of loss, but it's also an opportunity.
No, definitely, definitely. It's a, I think, loss in terms of your organization. Maybe when you go for the offline, then you have to take huge responsibility. And those who can join in online, I'm sure this is a very good benefit for them.
Yeah.
So yes, yes. So beside that, you also said that you want to focus on the youth community. So how actually youth community, let's say students and university student, how they get benefit from this summit?
Yeah, two things. One is the future. Unfortunately, our education system has not upgraded itself to the present world situation. We are still studying things which are from 1940s and 1950s. Most of our studies are outdated. So if you're looking at the future, I mean, if I look at my own life, 20 years ago, I didn't even know what is a smartphone. When I studied, we didn't even know anything about it. And today, we can't even imagine 10 minutes in a day without our phone with us. So how much the life has changed in the last 10, 15 years is, if we think about it, it's amazing. So the kids or the people, students who are studying now, they have to look into the future. So they have to look what they are going to study now and what they are going to learn now, which is going to be applicable in the future. Forget what you have studied about the past. Forget about petrol cars and servicing your cars. It's not the future, because if we stick to that, you must have seen in America, more and more companies have become automized. Millions of people have lost their job. And this automation will only get further and further because now the AI is coming, artificial intelligence. So for the kids, for the young people, I would say, look at the future when you want to determine where you want to go to. Don't look into the past. The past has nothing to offer to you. The world in the future will be very different to the world now. So if you think that working in a coal factory is going to make you big money, you're in a very, very wrong path. Or
Yes,
so.
yes, sir. One point, there are many startup. They are actually looking for financing and investment, and maybe startup, they do not have enough money to show, or enough money to show as a record that they are creating impact in their business. So what is your suggestion for them? I know many of the startups from Malaysia, let's say even Cyberjaya, they are playing a very good role, but still there are many startups, even in COVID situation, they are actually struggling a lot. So what is your guideline for them?
The COVID situation has really hurt all the sectors very badly. So they are not the only ones. I think people are hurting in the West, in the South, East, North, everywhere people are hurting. So, but my guideline to the startups will be it doesn't matter what you do, just look into your own track record. So if you're doing something which is good for the environment, sell it, market it, put it in all your stories. If you think you're doing something for the society, market it, because people often forget to mention these little facts. Like an agriculture company, we recently not last year, beginning of this year, we invested 120 million in agriculture company in Asia. It's a very big company. And what they did is that they have been there 16 years. They have been working 16 years in Asia. But they forgot to mention that they have been supporting and educating the farmers to grow their farm without using artificial fertilizers. Or they have been teaching the farmers to buy cows and have milk without using antibiotics. They didn't know that. And when we told them that you have been doing this since the beginning, this is an extremely impactful activity, put it in your business, put it in your marketing, market it. And when they did it, they got 120 million just from one side.
Mhm. Excellent. Especially your this idea, because many of the corporation, I think already they join in World Talent Economy forums. Even BRAC, you are talking about Dr. Mohammad Yunus. I think Dr. Fazle Hassan Ahmed, he built up this BRAC. BRAC has a very good initiative. Arong. Arong actually collect different kind of handicraft from the local communities, and they are trying to selling in the global community. So even we know many of the startup, they are also trying to handle this kind of business, and they already join in World Talent Economy Forum. So this is actually very interesting initiative you are taking, and this is actually huge gap in our ecosystem. There is a very lack of knowledge and experience how to involved with the global like impact investment associations or something like that. That's why that World Talent Economy forums, we have many people. Even yesterday shows, it's from one of the company I told you, the Sansar from Silicon Valleys, and we also promote your organizations. So we have many corporations from around the world, they are joining in World Talent Economy forum. So futures, maybe we I request first everybody join this summit, because this will be very important for everyone, I'm sure, because how I see the especially profile and your previous summit, I try to do some research. So I find that many interesting people from around the world, many big name actually joining. So
Yeah.
definitely many business organizations from Asia Pacific, they can join your organizations, and even in futures we are open to organize a summit together, even in online. So hopefully it will be very
Exactly.
effective.
I would just say use the opportunity, because summits like ours are never open for the world. And
Exactly. Yes, yes.
thanks to this COVID, it is
Okay.
open to the world. So that's a positive
Yes, sir.
side of the COVID.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah.
Thank you. Do you have anything as a concluding remarks? I know that you are super busy with your summit. I think 26th and 27th October. So
Yeah.
I request everyone, please join this summit, and definitely they will learn many things. Yeah. So
You're
what's the
welcome.
concluding remarks for today's session?
Um, I wouldn't know. I would just say just welcome, just use our knowledge. And even if you have questions, the summit is not the only thing SIIA is. SIIA is much more. So the members of SIIA, they are all over the world, the
Mhm.
Swiss Impact Investment Association. So keep in touch and keep an eye on our website, and you will see what is happening and what is coming and things like that.
Mhm. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Thank you for joining us today.
You're
And
welcome.
this is yes, this is really very good sessions, and definitely, hopefully, World Talent Economy forums will work with your Swiss Impact Investment Associations, and as much as possible, we will connect with the corporations in between your organizations and the local community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Take care. Take care.